Okay, we'll start the meeting. We have a quorum. We will start the August 4th meeting. I do have one question. I see we have a couple guests on there. I think we had Joel McNaughton 3 times on there. Who do we have on there?
One of the Joel McNaughtons is Sean Delaney from Stevens and Lee, who is, I'm actually with 900 Keckler Road. It's one of the rezoning requests, but I use Joel's sign-in.
Okay, no problem.
Could you say your name again?
Sean Delaney, Delaney.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Yep.
One of them is actually me, Joel McNaughton.
Yeah, you sound like Joel McNaughton. Yeah.
And we have 2 items under your zoning amendment section, numbers 2 and 3.
Okay, thanks, Joel.
Do you want me to call the roll?
Yep, please, let's start with the roll call.
Okay, Chairman, Mr. Standler.
I'm here.
Mr. First, Vice Chair.
Here.
Gary Lanker, Treasurer.
Here.
Terry Morgan. Chris Dietz.
Here.
Mary Gaiske. John Kirshner. Brian Pomeroy.
Here.
And Joe Robinson Jr.
Zoning. Swear. Okay, sorry. We have the minutes from the July 7th meeting. Everyone should have a copy of those.
I'd like to move we accept them.
Thank you, Josh. Do I have a second?
Second.
That Brian.
Gary.
All right, Gary. Thank you, Gary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carried. We have the transfer of funds for the sewer modules and subdivisions of amount of $4,892.50. We have a motion to transfer that money.
Motion to concur.
By Brian, do I have a second?
Second, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing. Moving on. Okay.
Mary just joined.
Oh, now we have Mary. Oh. Officers' reports.
Well, do you want, Mr. Chairman, do you want to go down to handling the
Yep, we can.
zoning requests?
We certainly can. We can do that. We will leave the agenda here and we'll go down to the zoning requests. Get that out of the way here for the evening and then continue back with the meeting.
I guess at this point, do you open it up to the potential applicants to give a couple of seconds to talk about their.
Sure. Joel McNaughton, do you want to start us off there with your zoning request? You want to give us a little bit, Vince, please?
Sure.
Or whoever you want to speak for you. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no, I can do, I'll start with what's on your agenda as number 2.
Okay.
So that is a property in Swatara Township. It's 17 acres at the northeast corner of Lindell Road and Keckler Road. So it's the Route 441 corridor, signalized intersection at Lindell and Keckler Road. I have like some, I don't know if you have the map or, I mean, I'm happy to share some information, like a screen if that's helpful, or I can just verbalize it.
Hang on.
You should be able to share your screen now, Joel.
Okay. As I said that, now I have to find what I wanted to share. No, so it's the northeast corridor or parcel at here we go.
A lot with the power line through it.
Power line goes through exactly.
Right.
The power line goes through the middle of it. Um, this is probably, let me click the share button here. This is probably the best piece to look at. Right here. So can you guys see that?
No.
Oh,
Hmm. How about now?
oh, now we have it.
Yes.
Okay. Um, so this is a copy of a portion of Swatera Township zoning map. To the left is like the 283 Route 441 interchange. Number of properties there, zone commercial general. There's a commercial zone, a commercial limited zoning district that exists, some residential suburban, and some residential RM or multifamily residential. It's a 17-acre site. It's currently zoned RS. It's got a power line that runs through the middle of it, and so not conducive to single family detached development, and really not consistent with the way that this corridor has developed. You know, Route 441 has really become a mixed use corridor. I think justified no better than the township's recent zoning amendment, which zoned, 100, 150 acres, whatever, across the street to mixed use, which you can kind of see on the bottom of this plat. Um, it's an extension of the CL zoning, so it's not spot zoning. Our intention is to develop the property as what would be defined under the township ordinances as a nursing home or personal care home / assisted living. We think this is a just dynamite location for an assisted living facility. You can put parking lots underneath the power lines for the limited kind of traffic that there is. Um, put the buildings in the open space that's required in the usable parts of the property. It's right off the highway, so ease of access for people coming to visit. There's not really a facility like that in this section of Swatera Township. And it certainly lends itself to this mixed use corridor. Um, the township ordinance says that the CL zone is to provide for lighter types of commercial use compatible with nearby homes. I think a nursing type facility certainly does that. Um, again, reflective of the corridor in general, and that's the nature of our request.
Do you want to talk about the second one while you're
Sure, I can do that.
Or would you prefer allowing, since Mr. Delaney, the map is up, he could talk about his proposal?
Yeah, maybe because he probably his is sort of related to this one.
All right, got the mute button. No, thanks, guys. And basically, this is helpful. I can share my screen as well, but I don't know that I need to. So our client is two different entities that are owned or controlled by Paul Navarro. I'm sure you know. It's the property just to the north that's currently designated RM, and then pretty much all of the property to the south of that is currently in the agricultural district. And the request is two parts. First is to extend effectively, if you rezone the McNaughton property into the CL district, the idea would be to bring that zoning designation to the east on 441 for the two adjacent properties. The property over by the creek, sort of long, thin one, and then the small little box would stay agricultural. And then the second part is basically where you've got the existing RM and then agricultural, and then you come across to what is currently zoned RS. That area that is bounded on the east by the stream, the request is to extend the RM into that parcel. Proposed development, it's a mix. So along the frontage, the plan is to develop a winery. So commercial operation, which would be consistent with the CL district. So some of it would actually still be agriculture because it would be growing of grapes, but then there'd be the winery itself. There could be events there. There's supportive parking areas to the rear. And then as you go into the RM district areas, the proposal is a mix of housing uses, different densities, some single family detached, some duplexes, townhouses. It's a blend. And there's actually, there's good access, good sight distance on 441, but there's also access onto Stacy Drive to the northern part of the property, which would give circular access for the entire development, which I think makes sense. There's good infrastructure in the area, very good infrastructure in the area. I think it'd be a good development. But this would be the first step to get the rezoning in place.
Okay, okay, Mr. McDonald, would you like to talk about these two first, and then pick up your other one at the after that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Is there any commission questions?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
How many units are we talking for the senior facility?
I don't know that we have that number yet. I mean, we haven't really done much in the way of sketch plans, other than probably, we think it's a single building. And I don't have like a bed count that I could share.
Okay.
Question, where would you access this? From 441, from Keckler?
I think probably both.
Both, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess I have a question too. Like, you talked about parking lots, and I'm sure that the winery will need some parking lot areas. How's the stormwater infrastructure in the area for handling additional impervious? And I don't know if I'm supposed to be asking those kind of questions now, Jerry. So tell me if I'm not. That's fine too.
Everything's open.
Okay.
Yeah, so certainly, I mean, if we would get to the point of submitting land development plans, these, the proposed nursing care facility and anything that Mr. Navarro is doing next door, these would be, separate and distinct submissions, and each would require, full land development plans, including stormwater management. So, significant parts of each one of these properties, I imagine, would be designated and set aside and used for stormwater management.
Kind of to follow up on your kind of general question there, Chris, whenever we get a zoning request, of course, this is all to be at the township level. One of the things, the major considerations always is capacity. What not only just traffic, of course, also infrastructure for stormwater, infrastructure for sewage, water, any kind of other kind of capacities, because you're modifying for what you are. So anytime you have a question about something that is, a change, those questions like you ask is pretty pertinent and questions.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions before we move?
Okay, well, we can give our analysis on
Go ahead.
that. Again, this is Dauphin County Planning Commission is a advisory to the municipalities. There's part of the process for them to be reviewing the change for their compliance with their ordinances, their goals, and then also taking into public comment. The Dauphin County Planning Commission is given the opportunity to make a comment, and then that's what we're planning on doing tonight to recommend to you to take a possible action. We have kind of given our analysis, and in essence, they're basically the same on both of these. And in fact, Mr. McNaughton's got another one in Lower Swatara that's also kind of consistent with it. When we look at a lot of these things, it's like, how does it fit into our regional growth management plan? Is it sort of a leapfrog development? Is there capable of handling a lot of the things similar to what we just talked to you, Chris, like you mentioned? The one thing that we talk about this one is also that this is a agricultural district that is getting modified and changed out. Again, that's agricultural preservation is something is one of the goals in the county, but we also recognize that, in some places it may not be advantageous due to a number of factors, including lot size, location, and such. This also takes into account some of the recent action that the township has already taken. If you recall, a couple months ago, there was property to the south of 441 that got rezoned from another agricultural piece to mixed use development. So a lot of things are happening in this 441 corridor. Part of it is, things that are happening. It's a growth area. It's a major connector road between the 283 that's been done and to the airport connector. So this area is a very likely area to be targeted, both not only in Swatara Township, but also Lower Swatara Township. So given all that, in general, we have no concerns, or not necessarily concerns. We're not necessarily as a staff opposed to this development, because we prefer infill type of things. But one of the things to bring up and kind of concern, particularly with the township, and this is something we always bring up, is that, we talked a little bit about potential development that may happen here. Nothing is in stone, of course, but this is the first step, as it was mentioned. Once they approve the change to the CL district and to the RM and the CL for these properties, of course, anything that can be in place can be built. There is not contract zoning in Pennsylvania, so they can possibly do it. So the township is reminded of that if a use comes in that it wasn't mentioned today, but it's in their ordinance, then they have the responsibility or the right of they're kind of make sure that could happen. They have to be aware of it. Given that development could happen and change things, we're reminding them to take a look at what 441 is in that area. So make sure that there are enough of those things that we mentioned, like the stormwater and the water and the sewer. Make sure there's infrastructure and also traffic. As we pointed out, probably what makes this area very attractive is its transportation improvements or transportation advantages. 441 will be changing with the mixed use and then with this use and everything. So the Swatara, in this case, the Swatara Township doesn't really Swatara Township doesn't really say too much about this in their the most recent planning document. They're more of an implementable. They don't talk about goals. They talk about it doing it in an orderly fashion. So anything that they're going to be doing, we want to make sure that they recognize that they're, going to be making changes to the district. And be prepared that 441 is going to change its character compared to with some of the open space and residential. So there is going to be a change to the district. The other thing we pointed out, and not necessarily in the first application by McNaughton, but the second one, the one that's further to the west or to the east, I mean, there is two properties, the two parcels that are going to remain in residential development or agricultural development. There'll be just sort of lost lots out there. We're also recommending to the township that they take a look at what those zonings should be. And if there's any kind of conservation, or talk to the people who are doing the agriculture in there. So make sure that if they have a lost piece of land for agriculture, whether it can be used, or maybe there's some other opportunities at this time to possibly change it to say something at conservation. That's not necessarily identified in our letter to go to conservation, but again, it's just as providing background on that. So all that being said, long-winded, going around about, but we have no major concerns about the rezoning, but we did like to put forward a number of concerns and things for the township to take into consideration as they review these applications in greater detail. Any questions on that? Sorry for that.
No, that was fine. Explained it. Fine, Jerry, thank you. Are there any other questions before we take action on these? Hearing none, we'll I'm
sorry, I couldn't click off. So right now we're just looking at the Swidera Township, the two in Swidera Township, correct?
Correct, Mary.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Sorry.
Being amendments, it's number 1 and it's number 2. Yes.
Right. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Number 1 is the 3 parcels, which is
Right.
RM and R and CL. But if you were not on the map right now, those are the ones that are more to the east. Number 2 is the Keckler Road one, which is the one that's identified. That's on the,
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Motion to approve with staff recommendations, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Thank you, Gary. And Josh, was that? Josh, yes.
Yep.
All in favor?
Right, just can I have
Yes.
make sure for the motion, is that for both?
Is
or
that
for one?
Gary, is that for number 1 and number 2 of the Swidera?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And Josh, the same with you, number 1 and number 2?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you.
everyone. Much appreciated.
Okay. Mr. McNaughton has.
Yes. Number 3, the lower Swidera one.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up how good my skills are here. You see a new zoning map, or are we still are still on the old one?
Nope, we have the new one.
Okay. Try to move down a little bit. So our second request is in Lower Swatara Township. This is a property that maybe you know as the Williams Farm. It's about 200 acres, 202 acres, located off of Fooling Mill Road, north of Route 283, and south of Oberlin Road, or kind of the further end down a little bit of Route 441. We were in front of the Dauphin County Planning Commission back in April of 2024, actually, with a proposal to rezone portions of this property to residential urban and portions to residential suburban to provide for a mixed residential use development. That went through um, township planning with a positive recommendation and got to a first public hearing with the Lower Swatara Township Board of Commissioners. And based on some comments and feedback, we withdrew that application and went back to the drawing board. So here we are a year and change later, and what we're proposing is to rezone everything that you see outlined kind of in dark blue on this map. So 202 acres would be rezoned to residential suburban. That means by right, you could do 20,000 square foot single family detached homes on the property with public water and public sewer. We're not convinced that there's a market for half acre lots, um, you know, in this region, but by right, that would be a permitted use, the permitted use. We've coupled that rezoning with a text amendment, and I don't know, hopefully this next page will come up. Can you see this page now?
We have it.
So coupled with our rezoning request is a text amendment. And that text amendment would permit age-restricted residential development in the RS zoning district as a conditional use, and subject to a number of criteria on density, open space, community center, etc. We think this is a really strong location for age restricted residential development. There are about 448 units depicted on this plan. Those are combination of single family detached and single family semi-detached or duplexes. It's a ratio is 70-30. So 70% single family detached, 30% duplex units. Those numbers are important because all of this was designed with traffic in mind. So even though this is 448 dwelling units, because these are age restricted, the resultant traffic impact to Lower Swatara Township is significantly less than if this were developed as a by right RS subdivision. The clubhouse, this would be kind of a standalone community. That's a 10 or 12,000 square foot clubhouse with a swimming pool, 4 pickleball courts, a putting green, bocce courts. This would be like, you know, a on the higher end, if you will, of age restricted communities. It would be limited to one person age 55 and up has to be in 80% of the houses, and then further limited such that no one under the age of 18 could be a permanent resident. Again, from a planning standpoint, you know, Lower Swatara Township recognizes the Williams farm as sort of a central critical farm within the township. In fact, they call it an opportunity site. You know, there's some discussion as to whether it should be warehouse or commercial or office park. We think this age restricted residential use is really has market demand and really meets that opportunity site definition that's in the lower Swatera comp plan. I'm happy to answer any questions or to further discuss any specific things that you want, but that's kind of the overview.
Are there any questions for Mr. McNaughton?
I just have a comment that I wanted to say, Joel, I'm sorry that you've had to go jump through the hoops of public perception and all that, but I want to commend you on your creativity and your transparency and explaining to people the market forces that shape the decisions that investors have to make. I think it's really important. I think in the past, the distant past, that was a real failing in the industry. People just kind of, hey, this is what we want to do. And I think it's helpful for people to understand what, not just what you want to do, but why you want to do it. And I think the more you can explain to people what market constraints look like, and that push come to shove, a buy right that nobody likes is the natural outcome, And it's important for people to understand how these decisions are made. So that's my only comment.
Yeah, Joel, I just toured a facility like that. They called it Margaritaville. Down in South Carolina. I was impressed. All joking aside. Are there any other questions?
Will they have a bar and be serving margaritas in this place?
So, I mean, I could show you the clubhouse design. It's pretty impressive. There is what you or I would walk into and think looks exactly like a bar. Obviously, they don't have a liquor license, so can't sell, but folks use it in other locations almost nightly as their happy hour location, and then use one of these, I forget what's here, several miles of sidewalks to walk back home.
Nice.
So basically, it's an active adult community.
That's exactly it. Yes.
Yeah. Though all units have to be sold to someone at least of the age of 55 or older in the household.
So that
80% is just so you don't have to throw people out.
right.
That's what your marketing's going to have to.
That's exactly it. It's based on the federal fair housing standard, which says that 80% of the residents have to, at least one person, and 80% of the dwellings must be permanently occupied by someone 55 or older. You market to meet that 100% goal, but if something happens, you have some flexibility.
Correct. Yeah. And then you're further age restricting at 18.
Correct.
Jerry, do you have our comments?
Yeah, the staff, the comments are pretty much the same as what we had with the previous two. I think the only major change that we have, kind of expanding on that, is this corridor is going to be changing as the development occurs, and the township to consider all that as they look at that and the other uses that may come about, and any kind of changes that may occur to 441 in the future due to all the development. The only kind of other kind of comment above and beyond. So again, the comment is similar. We don't have an issue with it. We're not opposed to it. The other comment is that since this seems to be two actions rolled in one is a text change and one is a map change, we always prefer to see that separate, so that if there is some questions or things that need to be worked on one compared to the other, then that one doesn't hinder the other. So That's about the only major change between this and the other two we just have talked about.
Okay. Any other questions before we take action? Hearing none, do we have a motion for the Lower Sweater Township zoning amendment?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a second?
It was the
Who
second.
was the second?
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, it was.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you very much, and thanks for moving us up a little bit on the agenda as well. The Swatera Township Planning Commission meeting on the first two items is tonight, so I'm running out the door to there now.
I'll be there too.
Yeah. Jerry will be there also.
And
See you
you
soon,
can tell him what
Jerry.
I said.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, we'll go back to reports.
Do you want to do the last one? Or do you want to finish the zoning?
Yeah, while we're on zoning amendments, let's do the last one, number 4. I don't believe there's anyone here for that, but we'll just move right through that.
Yeah, this one is actually fairly straightforward. This is in regards to Susquehanna Township, in which they're looking to rezone from a conservation district to a medium density residential district. And also to in accordance with the request from the school district. The school district is they bought the property, they're looking to build a new elementary school. Under the current zoning, it is not allowed to do there. So we are, they're looking at that appeal. We do not necessarily, again, have a problem with this one. We do have a couple comments to make sure that, that there's a case of be careful what you rezone it to, even though that the school district, and it seems pretty solid, that they would be moving forward with the school. There are some other parcels that are in the mix that may have some concerns about it that are also in the rezoning request. Just to make sure you're comfortable with A, what you're rezoning it to, and then B, the properties that are outside of the area that the school district is rezoning as well. So that's our recommendation with those comments.
Okay, are there any questions? The motion to approve the Susquehanna Township zoning amendment.
So move.
Thank you, Josh. Do I have a second? I'll second.
Oh,
Doesn't matter, I can second that.
Yeah, is it Mrs. Spandler seconding? Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, now we'll move back up there to officers' reports. I have none. Does anyone else have any?
Josh, here, I just want to say that, Jerry, I can't remember if we're covering Tanner's Run today, but we did organize a meeting up at Tanner's Run, Millersburg, several weeks ago, and it was very well attended and a lot of good discussion, momentum. We had a ringer there, Mark Gutschall from Land Studies, who led several of us at the very end on kind of a watershed walk. We walked up and then had to drive up as far as we could. I think the problem can be solved, not completely, but by pretty substantial amounts just upstream of arc safety. There's obviously a lot of things going on there. You have all kinds of, infrastructure problems, pipes that are too small, pipes that are too big. And, but the bottom line is that if people want to work on that watershed above arc safety that's open, Seal Park, the undeveloped parts of Seal Park. There's some properties that are undeveloped. There's a lot you can do, according to Mark Gutschall, that would greatly mitigate the way and the amount of water that comes down, every time it rains. So I wrote a small report on that, sent a whole bunch of letters out to, photos out to everybody, the people in different parts of the gathering, inside, outside, on the walk. If anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me later.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, we'll have another update here towards the end, because I guess there's another meeting scheduled also on August 19th.
Correct.
Yeah, but anything else under officers' reports? Communication and staff reports.
Well, I think at that point we saw the in your packet, there was the letter that Land Studies had sent to both Mr. Spandler and copied Mr. First as part of that meeting, and similar to what Mr. First just said, was kind of covered in that letter.
Okay. Thank you, Jerry. Let's see here. The program progress report.
That's me.
That's you.
Starting with some transportation planning stuff. July 1st kind of kicked off our public comment period for our ongoing update of our long range transportation plan, what we call our regional transportation plan, or our RTP. So we are currently in public comment right now. We started working on that plan, I don't know, at basically the beginning of 2024. Development and outreach kind of occurred through all of 24, and then kind of writing the plan then started in like the second half of 24 and continued through this spring. So it's certainly been a long time coming. I'm really happy with how the plan turned out. Again, it's in public comment right now. I actually have tomorrow night to kind of supplement our outreach efforts, which are always a struggle for these kind of long range plans. We're doing what we call a virtual information session. It's essentially me on a Zoom call for 45 minutes or so, running through the plan and trying to give you the broad strokes of it, and then providing a chance to ask questions and provide input. Since we are in public comment, we are asking any public comments to be submitted to our planning at tcrpc-pa.org email. So them to be kind of officially considered. Beyond that, on July 4th, we did have a round of our Sober Ride Home program. So that ran for us the Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights. So we actually had a much higher usage than we did for St. Patrick's Day and Memorial Day. So we're pretty happy. We used it. There were about twice as many vouchers used that night or that weekend as opposed to the previous two. So we still have a little money left in that program. The next round will be for Labor Day. And then if we have money left at that point, we will do something for Halloween. And then if we have money at that point, we'll probably do something for Thanksgiving weekend. I don't anticipate there to be any funding left after that though. So again, that's kind of rideshare vouchers provided through Uber, which is kind of intended to reduce DUI crashes in the region, which account for over 40% of our region's traffic fatalities. So that's kind of an implementation tool of our regional safety plan. Beyond that, we are starting what we call our tip update. So we are getting ready to kind of update the PennDOT programmed projects that will occur over the next 4 years. So that'll go basically from now through the end of the year as kind of the development, and then it goes through about 6 months of the various approval and kind of evaluation processes. Jerry, you have anything you want to talk about rep at all?
Yeah, one quick thing about rep, and we're putting together a scope of work for managing or identifying and reporting BMPs in each of the municipalities. One of the things that they requested is a database and a evaluation to help them with their MS4 and also data access for grants and doing projects. So that is going to be done in September, the RFP out, so that we would start on the program at the beginning of next year, hiring a consultant.
The other things I'll add, we do have we're getting moving on two kind of internal plans. One is what we call our coordinated public transit human service transportation plan. It's a mouthful, but it's a plan that kind of looks at human service transportation. So it primarily is focused on the elderly and disabled communities, but it's trying to kind of connect everyday locations, essentially really through paratransit. So it's kind of trying to fill in the gaps that fixed route transit doesn't serve. So it's a plan that we have to do as an MPO. The last time we did it was 2015. So we're about, we're very due for an update. We've got that started. And then we also have a scope for our regional growth management plan update. That'll really start kicking into gear now, basically. And we look to have that kind of ready to go, at least the broad strokes of it ready for as we roll into Dauphin County comprehensive plan development, so that can kind of lead right into that.
Yeah, the Dauphin County comprehensive plan is we anticipate starting next year with the public outreach, and then our requirement is to have it adopted within every 10 years. In 2017 was the last one, so the mid 2027 is the target date for the comprehensive plan. So starting putting our budgeting together, talking to the commissioners, looking for funding to supplement what they may be able to provide us to make it a more robust plan.
Okay. Any other questions? Please feel free to ask Andrew or Jerry at any time as you go through that. The local planning assistance report. Something I harp on time now. Jerry tells me that they counted everything this time, but they see 46 hours out and about in the county. That's all the time, office time and meeting time spent on just assisting local government. So job well done. A lot of time out there. Said Jerry's goes from this meeting to another one. So
Here, Mr. McNaughton.
yes.
Better hurry up.
Yeah, I know. It's at 7. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I just may be hungry.
Yeah. McDonald's up there.
Yeah, it is. The sheets up there too.
Yeah.
Right on 441.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Any committees? We have none. So there's no reports for that. Subdivision land development. In front of us is 9 plans. We normally take them all at once. Is there, I'll ask Jerry if there's anything that's outstanding there. I did see one big one there that, but that's South Hanover athletic fields, mostly 458 acres. 2 student homes. Is that Milton Hershey?
Yeah, Milton Hershey's putting another couple of buildings in.
So any other questions?
Can you just go back to the line items that show the names of the projects, not the map, please?
Sure. You have Berry Township, City Harrisburg, Lower Swadar. 2 in South Hanover, Steelton, Susquehanna, 2 in Susquehanna, and 1 way up in Washington Township.
Yeah, the Hanover is their public works facility. They've been talking about that for at least 10 years. It's going to be behind their existing.
Thank you.
And then on the next page, the Susquehanna Union Green has a new building that they're putting in as part of their plan. I think it's either going to be a hotel or a another apartment complex. That I don't think they've finalized that yet. And the Northern Dauphin, Chris, the Indian Trail Market's going to tear some things down, make it a bit more.
Well, that's a good joint up there. So that's good.
You know, it's bad whenever I go there so often. I know that Thursday's the day they bring in fresh donuts. That says a lot about me.
Well, they have a bunch of old structures in that area, so I could imagine that they're wanting to consolidate some things. What's the terminal part of Steelton Terminal? Is that one of the old steel plants, or?
Yes, I believe it is. I can't remember the details on it.
You can look at that. We can bring that up. Click on it. Hang on. That's the original, the slag yard up there on top of the hill. We've had a couple. One was to put tanks on it. The last one was warehousing.
Cool.
We'll see here. Say. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, there. I think. Well, that one is.
That's the land behind the Dauphin Highlands Golf Course that is part of the quarry, and it's actually the east end of Steelton.
Okay.
3 lots. It's their old dump.
Yeah, and it's in 3 different municipalities.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
Yeah, this
We've
was
seen
third
it.
or fourth time, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept all 9 plans?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Chris. I have a second. I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Sorry, I couldn't get off mute.
Any nays? Hearing none, all 9 plans. Pass. Okay. Let's see, zoning amendments, we're done with that. Additional items. Talked about Tanner's Run already. The only thing I have is I see there's another meeting scheduled August 19th up in the township, I believe,
Yeah, I think Upper Paxton.
in Upper Paxton Township, 9 a.m.
Yeah. And I don't know, Jerry, is there a whole lot more to?
Well, I don't know if you want to bring. I mean, there's Josh had your meeting there. There's some of the things that are going on with I believe kind of the sense that I get is Upper Paxton is looking to kind of be more of not necessarily. They were never really resistant on things, but I think Josh, your meeting has kind of got them looking at a little bit more some of the different options that are available. Some of the things that they're talking about is the immediate repairs, what can be done in the short run, what's being done with that structure. I guess Light Heigl's their engineer, and there may be some consideration of what they have to do with that structure. And then also some of the things that came out of that study that was done, and what is next step. I guess Light Heigl might have also taken another look at that. So there may be some other considerations that Upper Paxton is interested in looking at in terms of where they may be able to participate. And then also then the main thing that always comes down to things is funding, money-wise. I know there's the discussion's been going back and forth, and Chris, maybe you can talk a little bit about that, in that whether a gaming grant may be something they'll be going for in coordination with you. And then, as was mentioned in the land studies project or stud letter, that there's Chesapeake Bay funding, and they may be starting to talk a little bit about those opportunities as well.
Yep, we look forward to that meeting, and at this point, the borough is circulating easements for the property owners around the collapse there, just south of the building where Light Heigl inspected again. And so we're working to try to secure agreements to be able to go in and open up that channel to relieve some of the back pressure on the system there. And I believe the Millersburg Water Authority has agreed to partner with us on the expenses for that, because they do have some piping in that area as well. So they're involved. So I don't know that that's gonna happen prior to the 19th, so we can discuss that a little bit further at that meeting, depending on where we're at with those easements and looking to hire a contractor to get in there. We also reached out to DEP for permitting, trying to get an emergency permitting, and they said, well, it's been in this state for more than a year, so it's not really an emergency anymore. So they're asking for some drawings and that kind of thing. And we said, well, it's an emergency every time it rains. So, but they asked for a PNDI report and some drawings around what exactly we're looking to do. So our engineers are working on that as well.
Well, that's good news. I have a question. Jerry, did we ever hear from the borough? Did they ever write a letter to our planning commission?
I think at one point there was a letter, during this whole beginning process, there might have been something said, like 6 months ago or something like that. There might have been a letter, but not in the last couple of days or so. I mean, not unless since your meeting.
Okay, yeah, that was one of our action items. I thought the borough, maybe Chris has more to say about it, but I thought that the borough is going to be a little bit more broad in their outreach, but it's okay. Sounds like things are moving forward. That's important.
I will follow up with Skylar on that. So
Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yep.
Okay, is there anything else under Tanner's Run? Like I said, the 19th, I plan on going to that meeting too, just to take a look around and see what's going on up there.
We'll get donuts. We'll go to the market.
Is it Thursday?
That's gonna be not fresh ones, so
Oh.
they're pretty good.
All right. Anything else before we adjourn? Next meeting is September 8th.
Yeah, just as a reminder on that, that's a second Monday, because we're already ending up summer. So
End of summer. Summer's over.
and also too, Andrew has up there, if you do, always the links to the Tanner's Run study that was done by the borough. Keep, that's in the packet, so in case you're looking for a quick spot to look for it, there it is.
Alrighty, there's nothing else. I have a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Thank you, Mary. And Gary, I'm sorry, Josh, second that. All right, meeting adjourned. We'll see everyone in September.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Take care.